New report from Morning Consult with a rather ominous warning saying no matter what you do on a plane, you are probably annoying another passenger. Now, this report looked into 12 behaviors, some of them rather common, things like reclining your seat or a crying baby on board, and found that more than half of people were annoyed by all but one of these behaviors. Now, topping the list, that's a seatmate encroaching on your space. This could be armrests, your legroom area, or that invisible line that denotes your seat from your neighbors. Now, next, no surprise here, but people who are visibly sick, because this is a problem that could affect you long after your flight is over. Third, unhygienic behavior, such as clipping fingernails or taking your shoes off. However, this shoe issue is one I've written about before. This is highly cultural and can depend upon how long your flight is, with people in Asia and especially the UAE far less bothered by this. Now, rounding out the top 6, passengers who listen to their devices without audio headphones, followed by intoxicated people and those folks who try to get off the plane before the rows ahead of them. Now, as for those crying babies, well, along with misbehaving children, they're pretty far down the list at number 10. And that's because people say when they see parents doing all that they can to calm the children down, they have much more sympathy. Now, another interesting piece of data from this study showed irritability on airplanes increasing with age, with baby boomers showing higher levels of annoyance nearly across the board. And the most tolerant, well, that would be the Gen Zs, with the report pointing out that this could be because, well, the Gen Zs have simply spent less time in the air, but also because life hasn't left them bitter and cranky. Ouch.
I saw that graph where you said clipping nails was there, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done. You know, so many of these viral videos, right, of passengers behaving badly, Monica. I'm just wondering, has a number of incidents, in-flight incidents, decreased as a result?
Well, we know in the United States that these have plummeted. They hit about 6,000 reported incidents in 2021, most of those masked related, and about 1,700 this year. So we could look at that as being pretty decent news. However, it's still far higher than we saw before the pandemic. And like you pointed out, Christine, we are still seeing this. We see it on social media. We see it on news. So it can seem like it's happening more than it actually is. But just to put it into perspective, the FAA estimates it's about 2 reported incidents per 10,000 flights. Now, that is reported, so this isn't so much of the smaller things that we might see, but the bigger ones, about 2 per 10,000 flights.
It's human psychology, a lot of it, isn't it? You put anyone in a confined space for a prolonged long-haul flight, and of course tempers are going to get frayed. But I will say this, as a parent, and my kids, and I know your daughter, they're not babies anymore, and they can say, I want to go to the bathroom, etc. There is a gap in the market, I personally believe, for an airline that has maybe a small space in the cabin for a little creche, for a little play area, and maybe they can cut back on premium. Yes, I know that is where they get the yield. Yes, I know that is where they get the margin. But I think that they would make a lot of parents very happy. And I think that those parents and those families would pay a premium if there was, I don't know, an in-flight nanny where they could take the baby off their hands for maybe half an hour, and they can get some quality sleep. I think that there is a gap in the market for that. But because airlines, and that would involve such a high cost, it's not being done to reconfigure, and the safety implications as well, it's not being done. And it's very sad that it isn't.